On July 17th, 1981, while dancing the night away in the beautiful atrium of the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri, 1,600 partygoers would experience a night that would change their lives forever. During the middle of the weekly tea dance, two overhead walkways collapsed, loaded with people. The concrete and glass platforms crashed onto the hotel lobby, killing 114 people and injuring 216, 29 of whom were rescued from the rubble. The collapse resulted in billions of dollars of insurance claims, legal investigations, and city government reforms. It had remained the deadliest accidental structural collapse in U.S. history until the 2001 World Trade Center attacks. Welcome back to Missouri Mayhem. I'm Mindy. Thank you for tuning in with us for another case today. We appreciate your support. All right, guys. So today's case, we're going back to 1981.
Aw, 81.
81. And we're going to the old Hyatt Regency Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri to take another look at that collapse.
Oh.
And Megan and I did actually go to the Sheraton.
Yep, we sure did.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's called the Sheraton now, not the Hyatt Regency. So that's why I said that.
Yes.
But anyway, that was fun.
Yes. Oh, we had so much fun.
Yes, it was. Highly recommend staying there.
Yeah.
It was a nice hotel.
Everybody was really nice.
Mm-hmm. But we wanted to see, with our own eyes where the collapse happened and, what it looked like afterwards and take some pictures and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and talk about that fateful night.
Yeah, let's just get into it and see what happened.
So let's just talk about the hotel in itself. The Hyatt Regency was built between 1978 and 1980.
Okay.
It was built rather quickly, you could say.
Yes, for that big of a building.
Yes.
For that big of a structure.
And the doors finally opened on July 1st, 1980, almost exactly 1 year before this tragedy happened.
Gosh,
almost exactly.
So that gives a false, too, sense of security, I think. It's a brand new hotel.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah,
basically.
surely, nothing like this would happen.
Right.
It consists of 40 stories, a beautiful atrium, and it is. It's a very beautiful atrium.
It is.
And a rotating restaurant, used to be a rotating restaurant. It was called The Skies, set at the very top, and literally you would go around. It would go around and give you views of Kansas City. And this hotel does have really good views of Kansas City.
It does.
From all directions.
From all angles. And I think The Skies, they said it rotated, didn't it rotate one full rotation every hour?
Yeah, something like that.
Terry and I went there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the food was terrible, but boy, we thought we were fancy. And I'm just picturing us now 16, 17 years old, walking into this restaurant. Everybody's,
everybody look at you what are you doing?
I know, look at these high schoolers. But yeah, it's a very cool building and hotel.
Well, and they told us that now The Skies has turned into a club or a club of some sort, and it doesn't rotate anymore.
Yes, right. It's I thought he said dancing.
Yeah,
I think. And we're are you sure? No.
And I think I also heard that you can rent it out, maybe. So
that'd be
I don't know.
Cool.
That would be cool.
Have a party up there.
But anyway, during the building of this hotel, there were many delays and setbacks, including this is crazy. The 2,700 square foot roof caved in on October 14th of 79 due to a failed connection.
While they were building it?
While they were building it.
Okay, that's not a good sign.
That is not a good sign.
Yikes, okay.
Yeah, so that happened. They fixed it, moved on. Eventually, it would be Missouri's tallest building from 1980 to 1986.
That's
Can you believe that?
Wow.
And it is currently now is the state's 6th tallest building and Kansas City's 3rd tallest building.
And it's tall. But I think it had 40 floors.
Yeah.
And I've never been to New York. So, I know, but for Missouri, that's pretty tall.
For New York, that's not very tall.
But for Missouri, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hotel's lobby, unfortunately, where this incident happened, was its most defining feature, you could say, with a multi-story atrium spanned by elevated walkways. They're also called skywalks, and they're suspended from the ceiling. And these skywalks were actually created to look kind of invisible.
Yes.
And
And
have you ever walked on a skywalk like that?
no, no, not to I think I've not walked on a skywalk like that. Like, that kinda scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it literally looks like you're just in the
walking
air,
on air.
suspended in air.
Isn't there one in Chicago, a skywalk, like, that hangs over a building and you can walk out and you can, like, see through the floor?
I don't think there's a skywalk, but, like, there's
Little
like a
push out,
push out in the building where you can lean against it and, like, look down,
and it's just yeah, oh my
like,
gosh,
as if you were
Terry would
falling.
shit his
A
pants.
lot of people just can't do it.
Oh, Terry wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, so, I mean, that and you're talking about this is 1980-ish, so that's super
Pretty
cool back then.
pretty cool
Yes.
contemporary
Yes, modern art,
construction.
yeah.
But anyway, these walkways, these skywalks, they were made out of steel, glass, and concrete, and they were connected. There was actually a fourth floor walkway, a third floor, and a second floor walkway. And they were connected from north to south.
Right.
And if you'll look in our pictures that we're going to attach, you can see the before pictures and the after pictures to kind of
Yes,
get an idea.
of kinda where that was.
Yeah. The skywalks were each about 120 feet long, and they weighed about 64,000 pounds each.
Wow,
Yes.
okay.
And like I said just a minute ago, the fourth floor level skywalk was directly above the second floor
Yes.
skywalk. So you're like, okay, well, where's the third floor? Well, it was staggered out to the side.
Okay, so it was kinda like you had one going north to south, then the middle one was going kinda east to west in a way, and then the top one was north to south too, kinda.
Well,
Like
they
they
were
were
all north to south,
Oh,
but
okay.
staggered.
Stacked.
So you had your fourth floor was directly above the second floor, and then their
Oh,
third
okay.
floor was stuck out there on the left. It
Over to the
wasn't
side.
connected to either one of them.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
And that comes into play later, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the third level skywalk was suspended to the side of the fourth and the second. The
Okay.
skywalks were created to bring a little more, like we just mentioned, a little more something to the atrium.
Zhuzh it up.
Yes, they were designed to look as thin and invisible as possible.
Possible. Like yeah. Like, isn't that funny, though? I mean, this was a design choice.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like,
Well,
specifically, like, to make a statement.
oh yeah.
And I mean, and really, like we said, 1980, I wonder how many other buildings had these kind of walkways. Like, is this something like Hyatt was like, "You know what? We've seen this in other hotels."
Well, yes, because evidently during this time period, a lot of those skywalks were put in buildings. Like
Okay.
this is the time when they started creating them.
Those. Okay. So
Yeah.
they were really thinking they were on the cutting edge.
Yeah. And so when I read about this whole tragedy, I was like, what is a tea dance? Because this
Right.
whole thing kind of revolves around this tea dance. And they were having these tea dances this summer, the whole month of July, every Friday in July. They were having a tea
A
dance.
dance.
So they'd already had a few because
'Kay.
this didn't happen till July, 17th.
Okay.
So a
So
tea
for weeks. So if let's say they started
Yeah.
doing this at the beginning of June. So this is like week 7 or 8 they've been partying.
Oh, yeah, and
Okay.
everything's been great, and they're huge. I would love to have
This
went to a
sounds
tea
so
dance.
cool. I'm like, this, especially the age I am now, this is right up my alley.
Yeah, yeah. So tea dances, they originated in the 20s. That makes sense. Yes. A tea dance was known as an afternoon social event where they had dancing, tea, and sometimes snacks, and was traditionally held from 4 to 7 p.m.,
See, perfect.
which is perfect timing.
Perfect. I'm
I mean,
home by 8. Good deal.
it does. It sounds like the perfect time
Yeah.
for the evening. The tea dances of the early 80s, which is when this happened, were big band, big draw events. And they did. They had live bands.
Big bands.
Yeah,
Like
big
trumpets.
bands.
And
Yes, like
I mean,
really, really.
so
It was not a
cool.
DJ, like
Yeah.
every Friday they did this.
Like swing music.
Yes, and it was known to draw crowds anywhere from 20 somethings to seniors.
Because I was going to say, you could have a wide range of people.
Yeah, I mean, what a fun
interested.
date.
Yes, very cool.
And the tea dance was described as a social, elegant gathering. So I just envision it like getting all dressed up, like, you know what I mean?
Hats, maybe.
Yeah.
Like women in these dresses that are really
And it's
like,
summer, so you got your summer dresses
yes,
on.
everybody's tan looking. Yeah.
Yes.
Aw.
Party goers would arrive in the late afternoon at the Hyatt, dining, drinking, dancing. The dances filled the massive atrium, and there's pictures of people dancing in the atrium, and it is wall-to-wall people.
Oh, just
Wall-to-wall
packed.
people, yes, and they said it made a lovely place to dance your cares away and bring in the weekend.
Weekend, that's right. I mean, how many people all week were like, "Man, I can't wait till the tea dance Friday night."
I mean, because all summer I've been going, and it's been so much fun.
Yes, and like, "Man, I'm working my butt off all week, and I'm gonna dance it up
That's
Friday
right,
night."
that's right. So, let's talk a little bit about that awful night and the collapse timeline and what happened. So, on this particular night, the tea dance began at 5 p.m.
Okay.
So guests and hotel guests start arriving, and you have to remember, there's not only people coming to the dance, but there's people that are just staying in the hotel
Like, they probably
that
are
have
like
nothing to do with the dance.
they're like, "What the hell's happening in the lobby?"
And also, there's a restaurant upstairs called The Skies that's full of people.
Yes. So, I mean, you're talking about, like, I would like to know how many people specifically came and stayed at the hotel to go to the dance,
For sure. Let's
like
just really do it up and
yes,
stay
and
the whole night.
yes, and let's just spend the night.
Yeah. At 5:15, ABC News, there's a few news stations there that night, and I think they were just there to report just a good time, you
Yeah.
know? Um, s
I would love that if I'd have been like a news reporter, like, "Hey, you
Yeah.
need to go to the
This
Hyatt and
this
do
is
the
my
tea dance."
assignment. I'm gonna love
Okay.
this assignment, yes. So, at 5:15, when ABC News showed up, there were about 1,000 people there in full swing. No problems, everything's great. 6:50 rolls around, so you're looking at about literally 15 minutes before the accident. 6:50, wall-to-wall people show up for the dance, and more still entering the building. More still everyone is having a great time at 6:50.
Okay,
Life is
is
good.
good.
Everything is great.
But I'm picturing 1,000 people in that lobby.
No,
It
1,600.
ends up being in that lobby. Don't I mean, I think that was probably fire code.
They estimated around 7 p.m., there were about 1,600 people there.
Oh,
That's a lot of people going in there in 2 hours.
yes, and I'm just trying to picture that place full with 1,600
No, there's
people.
pictures of it,
It's
and it
not
is
that big.
full.
It's not big
It's
enough for
not that
1,600
big.
people. Yeah.
No.
Wow, okay.
Okay, so at 7:05 p.m., like I said, 1,600 people are there. At this time, the 4th floor skywalk/walkway, so the one that's all the way up in the lobby, that skywalk starts to lose connection, and it gives about 6 inches.
Oh boy, connection from the wall.
Connection from the wall, and it just slides down 6 inches. So, let's think about that. I mean, you either saw that and had a second to escape, or you're dancing and having a good time and heard and saw nothing.
Well, we kinda went up because they have it's not even really a walkway. They kinda have a walkway up there now where they have tables and chairs. And remember, we went up
Mhm.
there and
Yeah.
we're like, "Okay, pretend we're dancing and the
Yeah.
music's loud."
Yeah.
And if something shifted 6 inches, you might just be like, and if you had a little bit to drink,
Yeah.
you're like,
Just
"Oh,
you
what?"
think it's just the
Yeah.
movements.
And so, like you said, a lot of people probably didn't react.
No. So, anyway, this happened. It gave about 6 inches, and then literally
Oh,
just, like, a couple seconds later, 117 feet of concrete and building materials come smashing directly down onto the 2nd floor walkway. So now we've
ugh,
went the 4th floor has fallen onto the 2nd floor. Then guess what happens?
yeah.
They both fall directly onto the lobby, and the lobby had the most people on it.
Sure.
People were dancing, a lot of people were dancing in the lobby. Um, they
Oh my
said that
gosh.
immediately when this happened, that the lights went out, that dust filled the air. Thankfully, the 3rd floor walkway did not come
My
unhinged. It remained hinged, and nothing happened to that one at all
that's a
because it wasn't
miracle.
connected to the 2nd or
Right.
4th.
Thank goodness.
Yes, survivors then recalled a sudden hush, an eerie silence of the atriums, and then
Oh.
cries for help. Oh, there were so
Just
many
that
people buried.
moment where the silence.
Mhm.
Oh,
And as I said earlier, there were 29 people who had to be rescued alive from under the
from the
rubble.
rubble,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so as catastrophic as this was, if we're talking about 1,600 people, I mean, it could have been even more catastrophic. You know, I
Yes.
mean, it's terrible as it
Yes.
is, but realizing how many people were
Could
there.
have.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Then at 7:06 PM, Michael Mahoney, remember him?
Yeah.
KNBC Night
I love
News. I
Michael
do too.
Mahoney, and
He was there. He
was he
ha
filming?
he was, but he happened to be, like, in another room changing out the tape out of his camera.
What are the
I
odds?
know. And so when he came back, this is what he
What
wa
happened?
Yes. Yes.
So did
So,
so is there any, not that it'd be hard to watch. Is there any actual live footage of it falling, like, happening?
I could not find any,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling if there is any, it's been deleted
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's pretty
Oh, terrible.
traumatic.
Terrible.
But they do have reenactments
Sure.
that they've put on there where they show fake people falling and then falling.
And this is how it would have
Yeah, yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Oh, and because I mean, that's crazy, having a film crew there and they just happened to
yeah.
miss it. Yeah,
Mhm.
wow.
And also at this time, oh my goodness, as if this weren't enough, the collapse caused a water main break, causing the lobby
Oh
to
my
start to flood.
gosh.
Now, I have heard different things on this, and if you're listening to this and you know for a fact that people did uh, drowned, is what I'm getting to. So, what happened is these people are trapped. The water main has broken, and now the lobby is flooding, and there's people that are trapped that are getting flooded. And so,
Ugh,
there are some people that said people did drown, and then there's reports that nobody drowned, but they were at risk of drowning.
right.
So,
Regardless, you're talking about, I mean, you're just adding another thing on top of
oh
it.
my
I mean, because
goodness.
I'm sure they were worried that could have happened if it didn't.
Yes.
Oh
And could you imagine, I mean, being under all that rubble and then water
my
starts building up? Like, are
gosh.
you serious right now? I mean,
It's just, oh,
so at 7:10 PM, there have been dozens and dozens of 911 calls made.
sure.
People are knowing. At 7:15, emergency workers, nurses, doctors, people that weren't even on call, who were just nurses and doctors,
Show up.
show up. The mayor, anyone could help, headed to the
Uh-huh.
disaster. And then, oh my goodness, finally they were able around 6:15 to get the water and electricity to the building turned off
So it
so that
took, like,
nobody got
15
electrocuted.
minutes, though, of them with water and the sparks probably,
Yep.
and people
And
worried they're
can you
gonna get
imagine the chaos
electrocuted.
in that
Oh,
first 15 minutes?
no. Oh,
Yeah. Um, Around 7:45 PM, dozens of people are trapped in the rubble as emergency workers are doing their best to
oh.
save as many lives as possible. The trapped, of course, you would start doubting your
Oh
chances
my
of
gosh.
surviving. And now at this time at 7:45, more than 30 are
Ugh,
now confirmed dead and over 100 injured.
mass
Yeah, and
chaos.
we're not talking just you got a little bruise. We're talking like we're gonna talk about some survivors
No,
here
we're
and what they
talking
went through.
about,
Yeah. Um, so also during this time frame, firefighters, I thought this was pretty clever, opened the hotel doors. And when we went in, you saw the hotel doors, the front
yes,
doors.
yes.
They opened the hotel doors with heavy machinery, like plowing down the doors for a couple reasons to get in, but also to allow the flooding to flow out of the lobby.
So when the electricity went out, the doors locked and trapped them inside.
Mhm, and
And
so
so
they just we're going through.
we're breaking them
Yeah,
down. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Okay.
also tons of construction workers, just even people that just had these tools at their home, arrive with jackhammers, start breaking open these slabs of concrete.
Doesn't it suck that it takes an event like that to really make you believe in humanity again, in
Mhm,
a
and what
way?
people will
And
do
what,
and
and
the
like
lengths they
what,
will go to.
yeah, and I think, you think about, like, 9/11, which was this on
Yeah.
a
Oh gosh,
such a
yeah.
and just how people, there are really, really great people out there who do
Mhm.
come out and help, and yeah.
At 10:50 PM, so almost 4 hours
Oh
later,
my
or no,
gosh.
5 hours, it'd be 4 hours later, there's still a ton of people trapped.
They're still, I mean, you're talking about
Yeah,
concrete, lot, I mean, you're talking about heavy
yeah,
stuff.
so they've been trapped for hours.
My gosh, I can't imagine.
So it turns into Saturday morning, 12:35 a.m. The death toll has risen to over 40 people, and rescuers are in contact with 7 people still buried in the rubble and water, meaning they're talking to them.
At 12:35 AM. We're
Yes,
talking about now, like, 5
five
hours
and a half
later.
hours. Yeah.
Wow.
At 1:30 a.m., cranes begin to lift the large sections of skywalk an inch at a time.
Oh, boy.
And it's a long, painful process because under those skywalks are a lot of bodies.
Oh.
And it's just very awful for all of these people.
And if you're the one moving the rubble and you know there are people still trapped under there alive, you're like, "Okay, anything I move could potentially
Hurt
cause
someone. Yeah, they
could
have to do it. That's why they do it an inch at a
inch at a time to
time.
make sure we're not gonna end up
So
killing
we're
someone who's
going as fast as we can, but this is as fast as we can go so
yes.
that nobody else,
Else is
or also that more structure doesn't fall or
right.
anything like that.
100%. Ugh.
At 3:35 a.m., rescues have shifted from rescue to recovery. They are now looking for dead bodies, believing that no one else is alive. The dead were actually taken to a ground floor exhibition area as a makeshift morgue.
Well, there was what they called um,
That room.
that room. They called it the exhibition room
They
and member
did. It
hall.
was right there.
And we said, I'm like, "So what do you what is the exit like, are there things in there to go see?" I thought it was something about Kansas City or
Yeah,
and they're like, "No, it's just like a conference room." So
that
that's where they
that's a
probably took them.
probably.
Yep, right there.
Yep.
Oh.
Um, so the dead were taken to the makeshift morgue. Now, during this recovery phase effort, they did find one final survivor.
Well, I was gonna so the 7 people at 12:35 that were still buried, like, did those 7 people make it out?
Yep.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
so and now they're doing the
And
recovery.
they're down to one guy, and his name is Mark Williams, and he's still under the rubble.
Oh, boy.
So at 4:30, he's been there for so long now.
Oh.
Jackhammers are used to free Mark. Mark is freed, but he nearly drowned, he said. He
Like, he
almost
drowned.
drowned.
He's like, "I can't believe I
Yes,
made it."
and he was finally freed at 7:45 a.m., so he literally was in there for 12 hours, not knowing really if I'm going to make it or not, almost drowned.
Oh my gosh, and is he how bad physically was he hurt?
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
assuming he was
pretty
hurt pretty
hurt.
bad, but
Yeah.
he lived.
Wow, yes.
Around let's see, around 8 p.m., so that Saturday night, 30 more victims are found dead under a final piece of concrete, bringing the death toll to 111 at the scene. At I'm sorry, also at that time, 3 more victims passed away at the hospital, making the death toll 114.
Oh my
So 3
gosh.
people passed away at the hospital, 111 passed away. Or I'm sorry, 3 people at the hospital, 111 at the scene.
And they pulled out one last big piece
Yeah,
up, and there's 30.
30.
Can you imagine those I mean, PTSD for those responders, for anybody, and I mean, just I can't imagine.
No,
Ugh,
it was just awful for
awful.
everybody.
Yes.
And then finally at 11 a.m., investigation begins until
What
not till
happened?
Sunday at 11 a.m.
Okay.
What what happened? Okay, let's talk about the casualties. As we said, 114 were killed, 216 injured, 29 were removed from underneath the rubble. Rescuers often had to, oh, this part,
Oh.
sorry about the mayhem, guys. They
Oh.
had to dismember bodies to reach survivors. So, like, dismembering
Oh my
parts
gosh.
of the dead and the alive to get to them.
Oh my gosh, yes.
One surgeon spent 20 minutes amputating one victim's pinned leg with a chainsaw.
Oh my
After they
gosh.
realized it was unsalvageable, they're like, "Your leg
It's
isn't,
not.
so we're going to numb you, and we're going
Cut
to take
this.
this off." And unfortunately, that victim died,
Oh,
which makes me so sad.
no. Oh,
But
that's I mean, because 'cause you're like, I'm sure their last moments, so
yeah.
scared. Yeah.
Many of these victims would suffer permanent physical effects, well, yeah, from the damage sustained to their bodies. A number of these victims would also go on to deal with massive amounts of
Oh,
PTSD,
yes.
including things like nightmares, depression, survivor's guilt.
Oh, for
How did I
sure.
make it and everybody else didn't? Suicidal thoughts, shock, loss of appetite, mood disorders, many,
Oh,
many more things. So, I mean, the list goes every
it
1,600 people were affected that night.
and more from
Yeah,
those that came to
and
help and all the
the
families,
families,
the residual
yes.
effect.
I was looking at the list of the deceased from this accident, and I counted 18 people with the same last name around the same age, and I'm assuming those were 18 people that were married.
Oh.
Um, they say that there were 34 people, 34 couples there
Oh my
that were
gosh.
married that night that passed away, but I counted 18 that had the same last name. So think about that. You're going to a dance. It's a date thing.
For
I mean, you're
sure.
not just going with your girlfriends to the dance. You're going with probably a day.
And it's the perfect time, 4 to 7 or 5 to 8, whatever. Babysitter will be home
Yeah.
before. I mean, it's the perfect
I mean,
date
so
night.
all those babysitters got a call. Like,
Can you
they're not coming back.
Yes, or grandparents that are watching kids
Yeah.
and it's their oh,
They said that the victims' ages ranged from 22 to 78, the
oh,
average age being 49 years old.
that makes sense. That's my age.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh my gosh.
So they're, you know,
Oh.
and I mean, I just think about all the kids that were left without parents after that. If
Oh.
you think about all those couples, they probably had a lot of children,
Yes, that
you
were
know?
hopefully those families have been able to use each other as support
I
over the
hope so.
years, you know?
And one of those victims
Oh
was
my
actually
gosh.
my dance teacher at the time. I was 9 and her name was Lois Duncan.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she was known to be a professional ballroom dancer, and it is said that she actually was on the lobby, the very bottom floor, and was crushed by the second and fourth walkways that she was on that lobby.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was in her mid-60s and she was a really nice teacher, you
Yes,
know?
that's so sad.
Mhm.
She was doing sounds like what she loved.
Yes. Okay, now what happened? Like,
What the
what in
heck
the world
happened here?
happened to make these skywalks collapse? Like, what happened? And I am not an architect and I am not an engineer.
No,
And I
me
have
neither.
read so much stuff about what happened. It's so lengthy. Like,
Sure.
you need a degree in all of those things to understand. So I'm going to explain it to you.
So that I can understand,
Yeah, so
please.
that we can kind of understand. So the Kansas City Star hired an architectural engineer and a national engineering firm to investigate the
The
collapse.
Kansas City started.
Yes.
Interesting, okay.
The failure was said to be caused by a fatal design change.
Change.
Yes. So it was a change to the original plans. The original plan used single continuous steel rods to suspend both the fourth and the second floor skywalks from the ceiling.
Okay.
So during construction, this was altered. They changed it to a two rod system where the second floor skywalk hung from the fourth floor structure instead. And if you're going, what are you talking about? I I I understand. It is hard to understand. But basically the box beam joints held by single nut and washers were never designed to carry that
Well,
load.
that's what I wondered.
And so it was designed
Oh, no.
these walkways were designed to only carry 30% of the weight that was on it that night and all the nights before,
Okay,
all the parties before. So, yes, over the course of the summer, that thing got pulled and
and
pulled
pulled,
and pulled, and it went right through the nuts and
well, and
washers.
just basically released itself.
Yeah.
Because that's my question is, did the people at the hotel ever think for a second,
Anything's going wrong.
well, and should we be letting 1,600 people in this lobby? Should we be letting hundreds of
But
people
like you said, it
dance
was
on that?
brand new. Surely it's fine, and we've been doing it all summer.
I know. Oh, well, so basically, it sounds like to me they went from a single rods to suspend it, which would have technically been way stronger than
To
2 rods.
double,
Yeah, than doubling it like the way
which you would
they
think it'd be opposite.
but it for yeah, yeah. So, wow.
So,
But
yeah.
basically and this was a change that just happened to get
Yep,
through. Oh
yep.
my gosh.
So investigators found multiple professional failures, not just that. The engineering firm called Gilliam Clacco Incorporated, I think I'm saying that right,
Yeah.
approved the design change without recalculating its structural impact.
Which you'd think would have to happen. Like, okay, we need to see then if we're gonna change
You
this.
would think. Both the original and the modified designs violated building codes. Even the
Original.
original. So it was
Oh
doomed
my
anyway. And
gosh.
inspectors failed to identify the danger. And when we were at the hotel, do you remember walking around talking about this? And you said, why didn't they inspect it frequently
Like what
to
yeah.
see if it was
Like,
stressed.
yes. Like, how often do they inspect those
Yeah.
walkways?
So
Oh.
I mean, it had only been open a year. They probably really thought it was fine.
Oh, they probably did. They're like, yeah, brand new.
So what ended up happening legally? Okay. The Missouri Board of Architects, professional engineers, and land surveyors found the engineers at Jack D. Gillum and Associates, who had approved the final drawings, to be culpable of gross negligence, misconduct, and unprofessional conduct in the practice of
I
engineering.
mean, this is the stuff you
Now,
like, you think, because I've thought about that before. Like, okay, you're trusting humans to build something, and humans aren't perfect, you know?
I
And
mean, it's just one of those things that just went across someone's desk and they messed up and it just kept moving.
and it's I mean, and you're oh my gosh, yeah. It to me, all the logistics and the little things that go into, like, building a high-rise hotel, and the fact that there are so many possibilities for things to go wrong, it's kinda scary,
Yeah,
and that this
man-made stuff.
yes, it's man-made, yeah.
It's just
It
and we make
and
mistakes.
yes, absolutely.
So,
Ugh.
this engineering firm, they wanted to charge them of, they got acquitted of all charges. Let me just say
So
that.
they didn't end up being held accountable for it.
No.
Okay.
Because they were initially charged, but the company lost its engineering. It did. This is what happened to it. This is the punishment. The company lost its engineering licenses in Missouri, Kansas, and Texas, and lost its membership with the American Society of Civil Engineers, which is a professional body that represents members of the civil engineering profession worldwide.
But besides Missouri, Kansas, and Texas, they could still go out and keep building,
There,
technically.
well, that's what I thought when I read
Technically.
it.
I mean, now not being a member of this civil engineers organization, I'm sure
But
doesn't
no,
bode well, but still.
but they say it lost its membership with the American Society of Civil Engineers.
So
So wouldn't
hopefully
that be everyone
hopefully,
in
that's
America?
something that if you're gonna build, especially a huge structure like that, you have to be a part of that group. Hopefully.
Yes. So in the months after the disaster, a lot of people, of course, filed
Oh,
lawsuits and
boy.
stuff. More than 300 lawsuits saw a cumulative total of $3 billion, which is equal to 10.6 billion today.
Whoa.
Yes, of this, at least 140 million or 496 million today was actually awarded to victims and their families under hotel owner Crown Center Redevelopment Corporation.
Oh, okay.
The single largest award was 12 million, and that was for a victim who required full-time, lifetime medical
Medical
care.
after this
Yes,
accident.
yes.
Yeah.
This was interesting. I thought they should have gotten more.
Yeah.
Each of the hotel occupants and survivors, people at the restaurant, the 1,600 people that were down there, the people that survived, they all got $1,000.
$1,000.
Yes, which is equal to about 3,600 today. So if you and your husband went, you get like 7 grand for being in
You're
that.
traumatized for the rest of your life, but here's $1,000.
Should
Good
have been
luck.
so much more.
Can't even buy you therapy for a year.
And it is said that hotel and restaurant occupants recall hearing the collapse and thinking it was an
Oh
explosion.
my gosh.
Can you
How
imagine?
scary. Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's
what did they
crazy.
do after
So
this?
I kind of feel like this company got off easy in a way, if that's all that happened to him.
Well, it is, but the engine Jack D. Gilliam ended up doing something that I thought was pretty good
Okay, okay,
here in a
okay.
minute.
Good, good.
So aftermath, the hotel atrium was redesigned, and that's the one that we saw when we
Mhm.
went there. And replacing the second floor walkway with one, now there's just one. Remember,
Yes.
we walked on
We
that
went up there.
walkway.
Yes.
One supported walkway by columns, and they removed the other 2 walkways permanently.
And it's not made of glass.
And it's not made of glass. It's not a skywalk.
Right.
It's a walkway.
Right.
And they reinforced the roof and made other changes to the building's infrastructure. The Hyatt Regency reopened on October 1st, 1981, and that was the same day that a committee of engineers and architects concluded that there were no other structural safety issues with the building.
Dang, it reopened pretty quickly
It
then.
really did. 3 months.
3 months.
Not even 3 months.
So they probably reopened, obviously, before everything in that main area. After it had a safety check, they're like, "We gotta reopen. We gotta keep making money."
Yeah,
You know? Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
In 1983, local authorities reported that the $5 million hotel reconstruction actually made the building, possibly the safest in the country.
So now, like, overly
Because
safe.
they really, really checked it. So we stayed at a really, really safe hotel.
Okay, good. I mean, I never felt unsafe, so
No.
that's good.
And then the hotel renamed itself it went from the Hyatt Regency to the Sheraton at Crown Center in 2011.
So it was still the Hyatt Regency
So 30 years.
till 2011.
Okay, and we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
that because I know
okay.
why you're pissed right now.
Okay.
Because, yeah, we're gonna talk about that
Okay,
in 1 second.
good.
Okay, now the legacy of this. Okay, the world responded to the Hyatt disaster by upgrading the culture of academic curriculum of engineering, ethics, and emergency management. So there were a few good things, the silver lining,
It's kinda like the Joplin tornado.
like,
Some
yes,
good things came out of it, but
yes.
sadly, it took that.
This disaster provided the teaching of university students in engineering ethics classes about how the smallest personal responsibility can impact the biggest projects with the worst possible results, you think?
So, basically, any engineering student across probably the United States for sure learns about this,
Yeah.
like, this is what could happen.
Yes.
Ugh.
The Kansas City Star and its associated publication, the KC Times, won Pulitzer Prize in
Woo.
1982 for their 16 month 16 months, of investigative coverage of the collapse.
Well, good job, Casey Star.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
A local rock band, didn't know about this one either, named the Rainmakers, memorialized the event 5 years later in a song called Rockin' at the Tea Dance. Have you heard it?
No, but we totally need to look that up and
Play it?
hear it,
Me
and I'll
do.
post it.
Okay.
Rockin' at the
The
tea
tea
dance.
dance.
I'm gonna post that. Okay.
Okay, now here's the part that pisses us off.
Yes. And I don't know, but it does.
Okay, so there is no memorial inside the hotel to this day.
Nothing.
Nothing. Megan and I looked that place up and down. We asked people that worked there. They didn't even really understand what we were talking
Some
about.
people really didn't even know what we were talking about.
No, but there's no memorial at all.
Nothing.
And
it's a beautiful lobby.
It's huge, a huge atrium slash lobby with a lot of places where they could put a memorial.
Well,
Now,
you had some great ideas. Like, they have this
yes.
beautiful glass bulb chandelier that hangs down the middle of the atrium. Like, they could have put one bulb for each person, you said, or yeah.
And there's a fountain in the middle of it that, like you said, they should put all their names around here, and any money put in it, goes to help those that are still suffering.
Yes. It was disappointing.
Now, this is why they said they had no memorial. They said they would not contribute to the memorial honoring the 114 victims who lost their lives because Hyatt Hotels no longer operates in Kansas City, and the hotel where the collapse occurred is now Sheraton. Listen,
That's
jerks.
bullshit. That's bullshit.
They had 30 years to put up a memorial,
Yeah,
Megan.
come on. I'm sorry. And you were Hyatt for that much. Okay, you're now Sheraton. Okay, whatever. But you were a Hyatt that long.
I'm sorry, I put 20. It was 30 years.
Yes.
It was 30 years they had to make a memorial.
All because they don't want their image.
No, and this pissed people off.
Good.
This pissed people off. They also said, listen to this. Listen to this. They also said they were afraid that building a memorial would be an admission of wrongdoing.
Seriously.
Could you imagine if the 9/11 tragedy happened and they said, "Oh,
we're not going to put up a memorial because that would mean we did something wrong.
Our building was structurally not right," or something.
Exactly. No. And think if your family had been in that accident and they're wanting to totally forget it.
Mm-hmm. This is what the survivor stated. Basically, there's 114 people. They have been swept completely under the rug and totally written off.
Oh.
Some of them were even employees.
I was going to ask that.
Yes, they weren't even at the dance. They were employees that were probably walking around serving drinks.
Yes.
And the decision showed a lack of respect for the city and the victims. And that's what the survivors said, that they were disrespected, they were forgotten, and their lives didn't matter.
I agree. And and what's sad is, like, here, we've lived here our whole lives. I'm like, I didn't know. I mean, hardly any of this
Yeah.
information. I would have assumed there was a memorial down there
Yeah.
all this time, and I mean, I don't know. I feel so sorry for those
Now,
families.
eventually, a group called the Skywalk Memorial Foundation, they raised $350,000 to build a memorial.
So it took an
Oh
independent
my gosh,
foundation.
yes. And until 2015, this is when the memorial was built. It was built and dedicated on, or not built and dedicated, it was dedicated on November 12th, 2015 in the Hospital Hill parking lot across the street from the hotel. It couldn't be any more inconvenient.
Seriously, it's
Like,
in a terrible spot.
yes, it includes a metal sculpture of dancers in the air and a steel column bearing the names of the 114 victims. And we do have pictures attached that show this memorial.
Yes, yes.
The Skywalk, if you are interested in going to the Skywalk Memorial, the address is 2401 Gillham Road, and that's Gillham, Kansas City, Missouri. If you would like to visit the Sheraton as we did and see for yourself, the hotel's address is 2345 McGee Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Now, what ended up happening to Jack D. Gillham, the owner
The
of the engineering company?
Good question.
Okay, well, he occasionally lectures at engineering conferences for years at after the
Okay,
tragedy, and he claims full responsibility and
okay.
d and disturbed by his memories. He says he is disturbed by his memories 365 days a year. He said he wanted to by doing these lectures at these conferences, he wants to scare the daylights out of these future engineers in hopes of preventing future mistakes.
Well,
So if he could do anything, this is what he could do.
good on him. I mean, because he coulda got snuck into a hole and just tried to hide forever and act
No.
like it hadn't happened, and so at least he's trying to be
So that
preventative.
was the outcome of that. So I mean, he had some good conferences, I'm
Well,
sure,
I'm
and maybe helped
sure.
some people.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about some survivor stories,
Yes.
and there's some mayhem here, um, as you can imagine.
Yes.
And we're going to start with Joe, and he was a doctor, and his last name, I believe, is pronounced Weckerly.
Okay.
And Joe said, "You know the smell of blood, but you don't know the smell of carnage." He was a former emergency physician at Baptist Medical Center and said, "I walked in and I distinctly remember having and I'm not saying God's name in vain, I'm saying what he said, an oh my God
Yeah.
moment."
Oh, sure. Like, what have I just walked so he
Yes,
came to help.
he came to help.
Okay.
Like I told you earlier, a lot of people just showed up
Mhm.
that were, medical doctors,
Mhm.
people with jackhammers, anybody could help. He said that there were so many dead or gravely injured that he doesn't remember even who he went to help first.
Like,
Like, where do you even start?
that's just all he was running on adrenaline.
Now, he was a doctor, and so he knew how to kind of like
Oh,
triage this. And this is such mayhem, but this is what he had to do. He had to identify people who are going to die. You're going to die no matter what. I
like,
can't
even if
help
I
you.
try and help
Yes,
you,
so
you're
I can't
dying.
help you.
Oh,
Then you're gonna have the people that are gonna live
no
no
matter
matter
what.
what.
Sure. They're
So
injured, but they'll survive.
so you're gonna die and you're gonna live. So then the people in the middle that have a chance to live, if you can intervene, those are the people you go after to help. Isn't that
He
awful?
had he had to make that decision, like,
Mhm.
you have to make and to be like, walk
I
by a person
I'm
that's
gonna have to
dying.
I'm gonna have to keep going because this person could probably live if I could get to them
Yes.
in the next 5
Oh,
minutes.
having to make those oh my
And
gosh.
he said that they assigned people to go talk with people that were trapped in pockets.
Yes,
Like, you
yes.
and I know we can't help them right now, but go over there and stand by that person in that pocket and talk to them.
Can you imagine talking to
Mm-mm.
someone and if they pass they oh, wow.
And evidently, he still practices medicine.
Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
let's talk about survivor Sally Firestone. And I don't know if she's related to any of the Firestone.
Oh,
I don't
gotcha.
know
Yeah.
any of that. But
Yeah.
Sally says she was on the edge of the skywalk when she heard a crack.
Oh,
That's all she remembers. That's all. And that's the crack. That crack is what we were talking about. That 6
6
inches.
inch.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
the
crack.
first moment.
So some people did hear that. She said, "That's all I remember." She'd come to her second tea dance with a group of friends and was standing on the second floor skywalk. She doesn't remember much about that night and says that she prefers it to be that way.
Sure. Yeah.
My neck was broken, one leg was broken, the other had a hairline fracture. I lost most of my blood through scalp lacerations, and I was told they really didn't even expect me to live.
She was
So she
probably
was
one they
probably
walked
they
by.
walked by. Yep.
Yep.
The collapse paralyzed Firestone from the shoulders down and put her in a wheelchair for the rest of her life.
Oh, so she's
Yes.
paralyzed. Yeah.
She said she was amazed that she could handle it as well as she did. She says she wasn't the kind of person that blames God or anyone for what happened.
Oh.
Firestone passed away in 2024 and had made meaningful contributions to Kansas City for years, serving on multiple boards, especially advocating the arts.
Oh. So she pushed through.
Yes. Mark McGonigal. Mark remembers attending the dance with his brother and some friends. He had just stepped off the skywalk when he heard an unforgettable sound. He heard rumbling. He said it was an awful rumbling. He remembers whipping around and seeing people falling and this cloud of dust coming up. So he just turned around and saw it.
Wow. And he had just stepped off
Mm-hmm.
of it.
And what he did for this man. McGonagall wanted to help as best as he could in this situation. He immediately recognized one of the men trapped in the rubble as someone he had seen
Aw.
earlier that night.
Aw.
Just,
Just happened.
hey,
Yeah.
he knew the man was not going to
Oh
survive his
my
injuries.
gosh.
He knew that he wasn't going to live. So he said, I saw him under the rubble and he was crushed. So his hand was actually sticking out of the rubble, this man who was dying. His hand was sticking out and it was moving. He said he was covered in glass and blood, and he said he held his hand and he said, I'm going to pray with you, and prayed the Our Father together.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And the man passed away.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
Then McGonagall began a search for the man's family with help from journalists and investigators. He found out the man's name was Robert Jonas.
Oh.
He found Jonas's widow in Olathe to let her know her husband had not died alone. I want to cry
I
right
do
now.
too. I was gonna say, I mean,
and now McGonagall is the therapist.
oh,
Yeah.
well, yes. Good job, McGonagall.
Oh, I got tears in my
Oh,
eyes.
Good
Okay.
job. Good job.
And then there was Ed Bailey and Shelley McQueenie. Bailey and his date, Shelley, were watching the dancers that night when the skywalks came crashing down on top of them. Could you imagine?
No.
They were among the few people pulled alive from under the bottom skywalk.
And they're just on a date.
Yeah.
Oh.
Their injuries were very serious. He had 2 crushed ankles, a fractured hip, and ruptured discs.
Ugh.
She suffered back, pelvis, and leg fractures. Bailey and McQueenie recovered together at the hospital and later at her home for many long months. I thought that was kind of
They
cute.
rehab together?
Yes, like at her house. They bonded, drew closer, and married.
Oh, they got married.
But
Oh, and then they got divorced. Oh.
but then they got divorced after about 2 years.
Nuts.
Bailey practiced law in Kansas City and in Independence for years before retiring to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and then to Texas. McQueenie stayed in Kansas City but never returned to work. For the first 5 years, Bailey couldn't walk without the aid of crutches or a cane.
Oof.
He still suffers in his shoulder. McQueenie said she is still in constant pain.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, these people that survived had major injuries. So, I mean, you're talking about, the rest of their life struggling, probably a lot of them.
And then John and Mary Driscoll of Lee Summit were at the Hyatt with 3 other couples. None of them were injured, but they witnessed the skyfalls fall to the floor, crushing dozens of people. Over the years, the couples, they're all still friends. They frequently socialize, but they never bring up the Hyatt in conversation.
Yeah, wow.
It's just too painful, they say. I could not talk about it myself for a long time, said Driscoll. He retired from General Motors. Sometimes I would think about it at work, he said, and tears would come to my eyes. I thought about all those people dressed up, happy, having a good time.
Oh, yes.
It's something I will never forget, and it was like yesterday.
Just replay it
Yes.
in your mind.
And then there's Bob Berkebile.
Yeah,
I think I'm saying that right.
Berkebile.
He was actually an architect that had helped with the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Yes, he learned of the disaster while watching TV and was there within a half an hour.
Bless his
Yes,
heart.
and he said he stood in that lobby looking at the disaster, wondering if it was all his fault, and it wasn't, of
Of
course.
course not, but you'd be like, "Yeah, was it something?" Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
and this one, Mayhem, guys. He said that he had been in Vietnam but had never seen anything this bad. He had a moment that brought him to his knees that night. While he was climbing up to examine a connection in the cables that were still attached to the side of the bridge, he saw a part of a face.
what?
He saw a part, not even the whole thing, a part of a face, and he said he thought it was one of his friends, and he just collapsed right there.
Oh, but it wasn't? I mean, it's still
He just
horrifying.
thought,
He just
whether it really was or not, I don't know.
But how horrific. So
Just
he was up there testing, like, the architect, like,
trying to look at cables and
and things,
connections and seeing
and
what went
and
wrong.
basically saw part of someone's
Mhm.
face. Ugh.
Now, when Megan and I went to the Sheraton, the gentleman that helped us, in the atrium, his name was Dario P.
AKA Daddy-O.
Okay, Megan. Okay, so we asked him what his name was, and he said Dario P. And Dario has like a little accent
I
to
think
it.
it's supposed to be like Dario?
And
Dario?
I thought he said Daddy-O. So I was like, "Your name's Daddy-O?"
It was hilarious. He goes like, I
He
think it's
looked at me like, "No."
Dario maybe, and then he says, "But people call me Dario."
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was
But
funny.
anyway, Dario was so nice,
He
and
was.
he knew about it because his dad had actually been there the night of the collapse. His dad was there and left 10 minutes before it happened.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
Dario would not
Yes.
be here today, he said. He said, "I'm 37 years old. I would not have been here today had my dad not left 10 minutes
Yep.
earlier."
Yep. So thank you, Dario.
Dario, yes.
We appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate it. So, oh, that's the story of
Wow.
the Hyatt Regency
That's an
collapse.
important piece of history of Missouri. That's a very important piece of Kansas City's history
Mm,
that some are trying to act like didn't happen.
yeah,
So I'm glad that we can bring attention to it
yeah.
for
Would
sure.
you mind saying a prayer for you need to say a prayer for the kids that lost their parents and,
So
the
many.
survivors. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Dear Lord, we just want to come to you today and just give you all of those who have been affected by this terrible tragedy. It's been, many decades ago, but we know there is a long lasting residual effect from this, whether it be the children of people who passed away, those that were there trying to help others, those that witnessed it, those that helped on the project. Just, dear Lord, we know that you can do wonderful, miraculous things. And just if you can bring peace to those families and just let them know that their loved ones are not forgotten, that we are remembering them and that we are recognizing what happened and that this is an important thing to talk about. Just please watch over all of those people, those individuals. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You guys, until next time, as always, stay curious, stay kind, and stay safe. Thank you so much for listening. Also, as usual, if you can give us a rate and review, we'd love that. It does continue to help our podcast get noticed. This has been Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. I'm Megan.
And I'm Mindy,
Missouri, you bring the mystery.
and we'll bring the mayhem.
Peace out.